Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Lisa Natoli, and I'm so happy to be here on Facebook Live. Welcome, everyone who's joining, and I am thrilled that I am here with Rupert Spira. And what we're here to do this morning is spend about 20 minutes and just share about his upcoming talk, which is this coming Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, for the Awareness Conference, which is totally free. It's all weekend, April 16, 17, and 18. There are 40 different amazing presenters of different traditions, non-duality, A Course in Miracles, science, and it's just an incredible party. And so there's going to be a link here in the comments for you to just click that link. And I also ask you to share this Facebook Live. There are many people out in the world who are struggling, they're lost, they're praying. They're praying for some kind of clarity. And I know, like anything that's come my way, I found because someone told me about it. So I ask you to just click the share button and click the button to join this weekend. So Rupert Spira, I am over the moon excited to be with you here. Rupert Spira is a teacher of non-duality. And I'm going to tell you, Rupert, you changed my life. And I mean that sincerely. And Rupert is the author of many books. The Nature of Consciousness, I'm going to say, I feel like this book is thousands of years ahead of its time. What you are saying in here is so cutting edge. I feel like eventually the physicists, the scientists, the physicians are all going to quote this book as the one that changed their outlook. You know, I was thinking how in 5th century BC, people were saying the earth is round, and it took until 1492 for it to be accepted. And that's what I feel about your work and your teachings, is that it's thousands of years ahead of its time, but it's available now. So I don't want to say too much about Rupert's work. I want to talk about on Friday. And one of the things that I love is Rupert said, I don't plan, so please don't ask me what I'm going to say. And I love that because I'm the same way. And your topic on this coming Friday is the direct path to peace and happiness. And so if you could just share with us a little bit about that idea, the direct path to peace and happiness.
Okay, well, first of all, hello, Lisa and Bill, and thank you for inviting me to join you. The direct path to peace and happiness. Everybody loves happiness, peace and happiness above all else. It's what we love above all else. It's what we seek above all else. And when I say everybody, I mean literally everybody, not just those relatively few of us who are interested in spiritual matters or non-dual matters, but all 7 billion of us love and seek happiness above all else. And the vast majority of us seek happiness through some kind of objective experience, through an object, a substance, an activity, a relationship, a circumstance, a state of mind, etc. The reason we seek all of these is not for their own sake. The reason we seek these is for the happiness we believe that will be derived from them. For instance, if one knew, for instance, that an intimate relationship would cause us misery, none of us would seek it. We seek it precisely because we believe it is a pathway, a means to the happiness that we really seek. The non-dual understanding, or the perennial philosophy, as it is more generally called, is the understanding that happiness is the very nature of our being, that happiness is what we are. It is not an experience that we acquire It's not a feeling that we have from time to time that alternates with other feelings. It is the very nature of ourself. And therefore, the only place it can be found is in ourself. So in the what can be called the direct path to peace and happiness, we go directly to the experience of happiness in ourselves. We don't go an object,
Hmm.
a substance, an activity, a relationship. That would be considered the indirect or the progressive path, which eventually leads, if you follow it all the way, it eventually leads to the happinesses that is the nature of our being. But in the direct approach, we dispense with the object, the substance, the relationship. We go directly there to the knowing of our own being, to the awareness of our being, which is itself the experience of happiness.
Yep, I love it. And one of the reasons I'm so happy that you're in the awareness conference is because of my experience with the Course in Miracles. So I've had a Course in Miracles for 30 years. I absolutely love it, but I had a lot of resistance to other teachings, especially in the non-duality teachings. And I ended up getting physically sick. I was physically sick for 5 or 6 or 7 years. And why I said you changed my life, because I was very ethereal, very like outside of the body and quoting a lot of things, but not in the direct experience of what I was experiencing as emotions, thoughts. And in the middle of my worst symptoms, it was the fall, October 2018, my husband, Bill Free, was with you on retreat. I think it was maybe Garrison, New York. And I was talking to him on the phone, and I was expressing, I'm in so much pain. I've been trying to get rid of all these symptoms. And he said, can you welcome them? It changed my life. And I knew it came from you. And that was when I started to really look at the non-duality teachings, your work. And ever since then, it's a whole new approach for me. It's welcoming, loving everything as it is, not trying to change anything. And then that's when I discovered my true nature. So to bring you into the awareness conference and to have those who maybe are struggling still on a spiritual path to hear it in a new way, I love that.
Yes, and as you say, Lisa, but before you came across this approach, you were very deeply involved in the Course of Miracles, and you were reluctant to look at any other approach. And then you came across this approach, and I know from my conversations with Bill that that you realized, you both realized very quickly that the non-dual understanding is not in conflict with the Course of Miracles, or indeed any other true religious or spiritual tradition. It is the very essence or the very heart of all the great traditions. So there is no conflict between this approach and certainly the Course of Miracles or any other religious or spiritual tradition.
Yeah, exactly, because that's what's happened. I really left the Course in Miracles for a little bit, really looked at your work, Francis Lucille, who will also be in the conference this weekend, your wife, Ellen Emmett. I started really being in the body. It was a totally new experience for me. And then to have that experience as staying as the screen upon which all experiences happen within it. So that was a major shift for me to realize
Yeah.
everything is consciousness. There's not
Yes.
like Lisa with a consciousness. It's Lisa, the body self in consciousness, and I am the consciousness. I'm not this limited self-identity
Yeah.
personality. I am the awareness.
Yes. And then the beautiful recognition that very often comes after that we share consciousness. That consciousness is the ultimate reality of everyone and everything. It is the unifying principle in our lives, which is the common word for this is love. Love being the absence of otherness or the absence of separation. This recognition, first of all, this understanding takes us to the peace and happiness that are the nature of our being. But then there is also the recognition that we share our being with everyone and everything. So these are really the two aspects of the non-dual understanding. It takes us to the experience of peace and joy inside ourselves, but it takes us to the experience of love and beauty in relation to other people and other things, because because of this recognition that consciousness is the ultimate reality from which everyone and everything derives its apparently independent existence.
Yeah, I love that. I want to tell everybody you have a brand new book that just came out just like a week ago, I think, called I Am, and a meditation on I Am. So I want to just, I want to read the back here right before I got on this call with you. I read the back. It says, infinite beings shine in each of our minds as the knowledge I am. When mixed with the qualities of experience, the knowledge I am becomes the belief I am this or that. When it is divested of such qualities, the peace and joy that are inherent in our being shine by themselves.
I can't improve on that. So I can't comment on that.
I have to tell you, when I read your work and I listen to your words, I think, how does it really is like something? I know you're not channeling, but you can improve on it. Like it's like, oh, that's it. And I'm just so grateful for you, Rupert, and I'm really excited for people to come to the awareness conference this weekend. You are going to be on Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for 90 minutes, and I've seen you teach many times. I know you often start with a meditation, which is direct experience, which is one of the reasons I appreciate your work so much. It's not a meditation in the sense of getting somewhere. It's a meditation in the sense of having a direct experience in the moment of your true self, of your eternal nature. So it's not like getting quiet so that we can have something later. It's literally so logical for people to experience it directly, not just like, oh, I have this experience and maybe you will too. It's like, no, take us there. That's what you do. And then you open it up for questions. So people, please come this weekend. If you really are struggling, or you want to know your true self, you want to know your infinite nature as love, as awareness. I want to ask, we have Cindy Krupp flying in the background, invisible. Are there any questions or comments coming in the Facebook group? If you can just put them in the chat board. And yeah, I'm just so happy. I want to just tell one more funny thing that happened this morning, because it really is this work that's helped me to stay consistent as this happiness. My Facebook page got hacked this morning. I woke up, somebody in Tennessee hacked my Facebook account, and I can't get in at all. It looks like it's gone. And what I love about the non-duality teachings, which I learned from you, is stay as the screen. Like there's literally nothing that can affect our peace and our joy and our happiness. Like all things are happening within I am.
Yes.
And so
it's such a wonderful discovery. This is something that everybody should know from an early age. We should be taught it in school that happiness is the very nature of our being, and that it's not dependent upon what is or is not taking place in our life. It is prior to that and independent of it. And this does not imply that we don't pay appropriate attention to the content of our lives. It's just that we no longer invest our happiness in the content of experience.
Exactly. And it's such a different way of living that I think for many people it takes some getting used to living as the self, staying as awareness. So that's where it's been valuable to me, how practical this teaching is. It's not just concepts. Lots of just ordered I am. So that's good. So we don't have any comments coming in except for the one. Is there any final words you would like to share with anyone?
I just make a comment about your very nice intro, Lisa, about the nature of consciousness. Um, I hope you're wrong about the nature of the book, The Nature of Consciousness, being thousands of years ahead of its time. Possibly it's a few years ahead of its time for most people, but let's hope that it's not a thousand years before our culture comes round to this perspective. I suspect that it won't be. That there are signs, not only amongst the non-dual community, but there are signs in the broader community, especially in response to the challenges we face at this time, that this understanding is slowly beginning to percolate into the mainstream.
I totally agree with you, and I feel the same. Like, the reason I feel a sense of absolute excitement is that the work is in the world now. So I think, like, from 5th century BC, there were individuals saying the earth is round, and the majority were saying, no, it's flat. And so in this time right now in the world, our voices and teachers who are expressing this truth, and I see more and more people are really having a direct experience of
Yes.
knowing they're.
Yes, and also this understanding, the way it is being expressed by many people now, has been largely divested of the traditional cultural overtones in which it was normally packaged. And this makes it much more accessible and available to people who don't want to subscribe to any tradition or a religion or a spiritual teacher, or it's being presented in contemporary language without any religious or spiritual packaging. And what you and Bill and of course many others are doing, it's a wonderful contribution to enabling this understanding to become more available in the mainstream.
Yeah, I think I've been seeing that. Like, I think a lot of people get stuck on the words, God, Christ, Holy Spirit, consciousness, awareness, and to realize it's all the same thing. It's all like to not. I love that you say that it's the non-dual path isn't in conflict with anything. It's not in conflict with A Course in Miracles, and so that really opens it up available for everyone now, where it's like this isn't just a path for some, it's really for everyone. So as we're closing here, can you just answer this one question? How can someone best prepare for your talk on Friday? Just in the next couple of days as they kind of get ready for Friday morning at 10 a.m. in the Awareness Conference, to have the best conference experience.
I think the best attitude to bring to a conference such as yours is simply one of openness. One is not, of course, I only know a few of the speakers, but I know some of them, and I know that very few people are going to try to persuade anyone else to believe something. This approach is more, it relies on one's own investigation into one's own experience. One is encouraged to trust the truth of one's own experience, not the truth of another authority or teacher. So I would suggest just coming open, just coming open, and simply allow yourself to follow the pathways. In the case of my talk or meditation, as you said, it will start with a guided meditation, and I will just guide a meditation into some aspect of our experience, and one should simply be open, follow that, be open to the possibility that what is being suggested is true of our own experience, and don't feel that you have to combat it with a belief or another point of view. Just be open, see if it is true in your own experience, trust your own experience.
I love that. So thank you, Rupert, for all you do. Thank you for saying yes to the awareness conference, just for being so open. I thank everyone here watching, and come join us. Stay open. There's really nothing to lose. It's totally free. Starts Friday morning, goes all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And this book, The Nature of Consciousness, is life-changing. Available on Amazon, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa, and I look forward to being together with you and Bill and all the attendees on Friday. Thank you.
Thank you so much.